Hello everybody, I am Buck WSR Weezer, putting the do into do-it-yourself, and our do-it-yourself project today finds us inside the 1998 Bounder motorhome. Our project is to measure this window behind my head on the driver's side for replacement. You can see that this window is completely fogged up irreparably. I can't even see out of it. It's not safe to attempt to drive it that way, and I'm going to replace it, and I'm going to show you the simple steps needed to take the necessary measurements so you can replace so you can make the order to replace this window. So here's our first step. Is we're going to take a Torx T20 bit on the end of my drill, and we're going to remove the screws on this inside trim ring. There's probably 15 or 20 of them all the way around. We're going to take that trim ring off. Now, I don't think there's any real danger of removing that trim ring and then having the window fall out because it's sealed also from the outside. But if you want to be extra secure and safe, then have a helper outside making sure that the window stays in place when you remove the trim ring. So let me take a few minutes and remove those screws. Alright, so next we are ready to bring out remove this inner ring. I've opened the window just so I could grab it here if it does get loose or feels like it's going to fall out, which I really don't expect. A little bit of sealant on this side too. This is a pretty big window. Okay, that inner ring comes off, and we're just going to set this out of the way for the time being, and we'll be ready to take our measurements. So that with that ring off, our next step is to measure, because this is a rectangular window, 2 dimensions, width and height. Those are the only 2 measurements we need. Now, we are not measuring the window. We are measuring the rough opening where the window enters. That's the dimensions that we're looking for. Rough opening. And in my case, that looks like 46 1/8. 46 1/16. I'm going to go with 46 inches wide. And then measure the rough opening up and down. That looks like 31 1/2. 31 1/2. 31 1/2. So in my case, we got a width of 46, and a height of 31 1/2. So that's the only measurement we need for the length and width. Now we've got to get a measurement of the wall thickness, and I think it's possible to do that without actually removing the full window, and I'm going to try to get you a little closer look here. Alright, so I've got you looking here at the left hand side, and I've got a straight putty knife really and a marker, and I'm going to slide this through as far as it goes, and now I can feel it tapping on the outside of the window frame. And so I'm going to leave it there. That's the full width, and I'm just going to draw a line on my putty knife with this marker. So I've got a width of about this much. Probably a tad less than that, but now I can take my tape measure and see what kind of length that gives us. Alright, so that's just shy of 2 inches. So if I went with 1 7/8 inches, I've probably got an accurate measurement. I'd try to take this measurement at a couple of spots, maybe up here, up higher, at a couple of different places, just so you can feel confident that you really have the correct thickness. Obviously, the easiest way to be certain of this measurement would be to remove the window completely. But I'm not going to do that. I feel confident they'll still be able to get about the right measurement. Yeah, so it's about the same everywhere that I put it in. So I'm going to go with a thickness of 1 7/8 inches. All right, so we've taken our measurements, and now there remains one more step, and that is to determine the radius of our corners, because all of these windows have rounded corners, and we've got to get an accurate measurement of the radius. It's usually about a 2.5-inch radius or a 3-inch radius, and I'm going to show you how to determine that. What you're going to do is make yourself a cutout like this. The outer circle here is a 6-inch diameter, and then the inner or dotted line is a 5-inch diameter. So if the corners are correspond to that inner circle, that would be a 2.5-inch radius. If they correspond to that outer one, it would be a 3.5-inch radius. And we simply take it up here and take a look at which seems to fit that corner better. And if you ask me, kind of thinking the 2.5-inch radius is what we have here. Yeah, the 3 inches is a little too big. So my windows then are built on the 2.5, and our opening is built on the 2.5-inch radius. So we're going to order a window with that particular dimension. Okay, those are the only measurements we need then in order to do this, to order the window that we want to get. We've got the length, we've got the width and the height of the window, we've got the wall thickness. I should restate that. We've got the length, we've got the width and the height of the rough opening, we've got the thickness of our wall, and we have the measurement of the radius of our 4 corners. And with that information, we can order the replacement window. Now I'm going to put that trim ring back up. I'm going to have, with this information, I'll be able to order my new window, and when it arrives, I will be able to install it, and we'll make that the topic of another video. But for now, you know how to measure your RV windows for replacement. Buck WSR Weezer, thanks for joining me today, folks, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye-bye.